Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
All right, I think we good there. Oh, I'm gonna take it. More so. You're still out. Got this Men in Black. Come on this way. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the morning breakfast brew. Just let us know what country that you are tuning in from, what part of Trinidad you are tuning in from. I want you to share the page on your group. Right. Those of you who we are on the YouTube also with minding my business. Okay. All right, we are at the end of the week. It's Friday. And this morning we're going to have a wonderful chit chat. We might continue a little bit on consistency, and then we want to go into a little bit on environment.
Okay.
The laws of environment. All right, and we want to share some principles on, moving forward in the area of making decisions, being disciplined, being determined, and all that stuff. All right, so it's going to be good. Share this. Let us know where you're coming from. Let's see who we're on there. Hey, Nicola, what's up? What's up? Candice, USA, New Jersey. All right, Leela. All right. Men in Black, but everybody said Men in Black. All right. Nati's from Netherlands in the house. Wonderful. All right, Tracy. All right, Gardner is in the house. All right. And Glenn. All right, blessings to everyone. So just share on your place. Let us know. Before we go into major discussion this morning, just let us know what are your takeaway. Let us know some of the things that impacted you since remember this is our second week. And we have a lot in store for you in terms of what it is we're going to be doing, making ourselves available for you to grow personally. Right, so there are a lot of things that we have in store. Remember, we spoke about also, we chit-chat a little bit on the book that we have coming up. All right, that's going to be dropping in probably about a week or two.
Okay.
And we want to use this platform. Yeah, we're ready. All right. Somebody else, what's the book? 4 Levels of Human Existence. I'm going to be dealing with finance and faith. Also, it's going to be biblical, but also secular, where we can be able to apply some of those biblical and secular principles to our growth and development. It's going to be really, really, really good. And we want to do a big book launch with that. It's going to be amazing. So we're using this platform really to really push that going forward. All right. Oh, yes. I think the last week on Wednesday we stopped on dealing with the help me this question. Was it the consistency, right? Yeah. The law of consistency. Okay, and with that basically we stopped at the comparison, the goal growth comparison.
Yeah.
Right, and that I think that was really, really a powerful takeaway. All right, Dr. Keeshon, wonderful. All right. Blessings, everyone. Yeah, so we share a little bit on we stop in fact on the goal consciousness and the growth consciousness.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna just piggyback on that as we go forward, because we want to deal with the law of environment this morning. All right, it's going to be really, really powerful. So what we noted, what we said on the last session that we had with you concerning the goal conscious and growth conscious, and we were able to bring a comparison, because some people going forward in terms of personal growth, they focus more on they're goal conscious.
The goal, yeah.
Right now, we are not saying that setting goals it's a bad thing, but there must be a balance, and we are able to show you the value in being growth conscious.
Yeah.
All right, because your growth is important. Okay, so it's not, and remember we mentioned also, it's not how much you will get. All right, sometimes you go into a deal and you want to know, but are you going to grow in this? Will this help me grow? All right, so we're more focused on what we're going to get out of it, especially in the growth process, like when you start to grow, when you start to develop, because there are so much things that are integral for development in the interim of personal development. Now, you're not going to just stop growing. It's a continual thing.
Yeah.
But for those of you who are now starting off, all right, don't let the figure, the amount of or the money be the object of everything.
Right.
Okay, your growth is, can I grow in this? Okay, because you're not going to go further than your growth. So one of the things we said, focus on destination. So the goal, if you're goal conscious, you focus on what? Destination. But if you are growth conscious, you focus on what? The journey. The journey, because in the journey, you're going to learn so much things, and different parts of your life needs to be developed for the preparation of where you're going to get. All right. Then we said that the goal conscious, what it is, it motivates you and others. So you are motivated because you have a goal, a goal for a house, a goal for this, a goal for that. And at the end of the 6 months, when you get the goal, there's so much celebration. So you are motivated by the goal. But when you are growth conscious, we said it matures you. All right. You mature. Yourself and others are being mature in the process. All right. So the last thing we want to touch on this, basically, we want to talk about consistently being productive. Okay? Consistently being productive. Okay? So waiting is often merely the excuse we use for not producing. Ready to you again. Waiting is often merely the excuse we use for not producing. Okay? But being consistent, being consistent is the answer for productivity. Yeah, that's the answer. Being consistent, because remember one of the quotes we said, consistency what? Breeds result. Okay? When you are consistent at it. And in the interim of that, I think I mentioned, Shane, when you start, you may not see the benefit so much on the outside, because remember, and I heard Jim was saying that, Jim Rohn was saying that it's an internal growth. Okay, so a lot of what's going to be happening is internally before you start to see it outwardly or externally. Okay, so there's an internal growth that is going to take place and you developing, which means that, and also just in light of that, also there's where you begin to grow in private.
Yeah.
Before it's seen in public. Okay. I noticed one of the, I don't know if I share this with you, and you asked me when I said, some folks say, Dr. Cummings are not seeing you. I say, well, we making move, not noise. We making move, not noise. Which means that privately, we are doing things, we are building. And for those of you who are on the journey for personal growth, most of the time, all right, you're not going to see anything the first year, right? Because you're building things, and sometimes you build behind the scene. You have things to share that time?
Yeah, definitely. What comes to mind automatically is the story of the Chinese bamboo tree, whereby you have to plant the seed. It has to be watered. It has to be nurtured, and it has to be nurtured and watered consistently every single day for 5 years. And for 5 years of nurturing and consistent watering, the tree doesn't come out of the ground. So you're not going to see the growth, and you're not going to see the growth for a very long time, but that doesn't mean anything is not happening. What is happening there is the root is expanding, and it's not growing upward, it's growing downward.
Yeah.
And in 5 years, right, when it actually starts to submerge itself off the ground, the Chinese bamboo tree starts to grow in excess of 16 feet in less than 6 months. Wow. Almost like a skyrocket.
Yeah.
So that story comes to mind immediately upon here.
So where that growth was taking place all the time?
It was taking place internal. It was taking place inside or underneath the ground or beneath the ground.
So while looking at the bamboo plant,
Yeah, while looking at the plant, someone could conceive that nothing is happening because, as you rightfully said, they're not seeing anything above the ground.
Right.
But what is taking place is that growth is taking place. It's spreading wide and it's spreading deep. And when it's ready, when it's its due season and it comes above the ground, it shoots up in growth. 16 plus feet in 6 months. But here's the question: how long did it take to grow? 6 months. Or 5+ years.
Wow. And this is probably somebody you're on a journey for personal development, or you're thinking about starting this journey on personal development.
Yeah.
For the first 3 years, 2 years, you may not see any great or significant results.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that nothing is happening.
Correct.
Okay, but you are growing internally before you start to see the external growth in different areas of your life. So I want you to keep pushing, keep reading that book. Keep making those connections and getting yourself in the right environment, which we're going to be talking about this morning. We're going to be talking about the laws of the environment, but I'm just closing up some of the principles we shared on consistency. Yeah. Okay, so those of you as you come on, just let us know where you're coming from, and probably share the live with someone, invite someone, because I believe that this platform that we have established here is going to bring a lot of growth and development for those of you who are onto it, okay, on personal development. Again, consistency. So one of the things we noted before we close off on consistency, we said, if you develop the habit of success, you will make success a habit.
Yeah, sure.
If you develop a habit of success, you're going to make success a habit.
Powerful.
Right?
Powerful.
It's true, because many of us sometimes we are coming from a place or environment where some of these integral principles of growth we were not taught those things.
Yeah.
So it's not habitual. So we have to. These are things that you got to learn, right? And we come back again every time we're talking about this paradigm stuff. Okay, so you have to train yourself. You have to discipline yourself, and it's not going to come just like a week or two, consistently. And one of the principles with the law of consistency is consistency breeds result. You have to be able to stick with it. All right, stick. And what it is you are doing with that Keeshon, you are literally, I think we mentioned this. You are creating or establishing a new paradigm.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are literally reprogramming your internal concept in terms of the mindset. You are changing that, the subconscious mind.
Correct.
And that is going to take some time.
It does.
It does take time. I'm telling you, it's going to take some time. And one of the key in shifting paradigm is repetition. Is repetition. Okay. Because that is how you because let me just plug this in here, because between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, there's something they call the terror bar. Yeah.
Okay.
Terror bar. The terror bar is a consistency behavioral pattern that is consistently built, that it forms a framework that is so hard to break. So it's something that if you change your habits, like for maybe a week or two, that is not going to move that. All right? And you have to be aggressive. You have to be aggressive to break it. And you have to be consistent to break those paradigms. To create a new paradigm and to break the terror bar. That's what it's called, a terror bar. This is why, again, when we're doing paradigm, we're going to go more in depth and we're going to share the principles into it. This is why sometimes someone decides to change or to lose weight.
Yeah.
And although you lose weight in 3 months' time, you lose probably about 20 pounds. Okay, what happened? Eventually, next 3 months, it's back on.
You gain
the weight again. All right. So you have to be consistent, dealing with the terror bar, and it goes for a lot of discipline that we need to establish in the journey for personal growth. The consistency. This is why this law is so integral. The law of consistency. Okay, so what we noted just now, if you develop the habits of success, okay, you will make success a habit. It got to be a habit. So it becomes natural.
Yeah.
Okay, just like riding a bicycle. Okay, when you learn to ride that, you could just jump on a ride or your vehicle. You just jump in, you just start. You did just without thinking, because it became a habit. It's already programmed now in your subconscious mind. That's what the programming is all about. So some of these habits we have to be able to program it in our subconscious mind. Okay? Anything you want to touch on that?
Break the terrible.
break. Let's say like that. Break the terror bar. Break the terror bar. Somebody texted that. Let's break the terror bar. What are some of the terror bars that you have established in your subconscious mind?
Correct.
Okay, that you're excited about something, but you just get excited, but
you never follow through.
No, you never follow through. You come off the live, or after you read a book, or you get excited, or you went to the seminar. All right, you know they have those motivational seminar, and it's really good, but you get excited. You heard the testimonies that your people share, how they made so much money and how the product is so good. You come in, you say, yes, I'm going to do it, and you sign up and all that stuff. And yes, but guess what? Next month.
Yeah. Next month, I'm so long.
Next week. your story changed. So, folks, this is why these principles are so important for growth and for success. All right, let me hear some of the folks are saying we have there. Marilyn and Jennifer. I think I see Janice on, Dassel is on. Wonderful. All right. Let me give you an next point in this before we go into the environment law. Being consistently productive does not mean you grinding away at work. Mm-hmm. So sometimes folks, I'm working hard, and think you're being productive because you could work hard,
not be productive,
but you not be productive.
Yeah.
Mm. You know, go and say something like that. Let me I want to say something like this stuff.
There are many people that they take time to know what should be done to equate productivity. Mm-hmm. So they spend a lot of time doing a lot of things, but not realizing that it's not carrying them to their destination. It's not carrying them to the design objective that they have. So there's a big difference between being active and productive. And I had to learn that along my journey as well. In business, we call it income generating activity. Woo. So we always, have this gauge as to what are we doing that produces a result of income. Mm-hmm. There are many people that don't have an understanding of the difference between income generating activities and everything else. Jim Rohn puts it in a way. He said, don't spend time maximizing on the minimum. You need to spend most of your time maximizing. No, I forget how he put it. But what he was saying is that you have to ensure most of your time is spent on income producing action.
All right.
Yeah.
Income producing action.
Income producing action. Correct.
Right. And you know what I was going to share? I was going to tell them. Folks, you work hard on your job, but not hard on yourself.
Yeah. Yes. Correct.
You're working hard on your job. JOB, just over broke. Right? That's a job. All right, that's the acronym for job. And most of you know that.
Yeah.
JOB, just over broke. But you find yourself working hard, okay? Whether it's a 9 to 5 or 8 to 4, mm-hmm. and you're working hard for somebody else, tiring yourself.
Yeah.
But you're not working hard to develop yourself. Okay? And somebody, probably you're in that category. And you discipline on your work. You're always on time. You're doing everything. But when time to work on yourself, you find out when time to do personal development
for you,
you find it a problem. Yeah. I want you to think about that. Think about that. When I heard Ron say that, I was like, this is so important because you see it. People sacrifice for the job. For other people, you make other people successful. You make other people rich.
Yes.
Your gift. Right, always going back in the Bible. All right, let's go.
That's the best place to go.
Your gift. Make it. You know who was like that? Laban.
Okay.
And Jacob. You remember when Jacob went down to Laban? That's his uncle. When he stole his brother birthright.
Yes.
And he had to run for his life.
Yeah.
He went down by his uncle Laban.
Right.
And when he saw Rachel, he said, I want her.
Yeah.
And Laban said, okay, work 7 years. 7 years. I'm going to give you Rachel. But Rachel was the youngest sister. All right. And the law is you don't give the younger first, you give the older. Jacob didn't know that. So guess what? Laban called him. He was strict. So the night of the wedding, when he got up, he sees who? Leah, not Rachel.
Yeah.
And the good book say Rachel, she had a little problem, right? So because he wanted Rachel, listen to the story, folks. Listen. because he
Just cookie eyes.
no, the Bible said the book said that, but because he wanted Rachel,
Yeah.
he worked another 7 years.
14 years.
Right? No, he had a revelation behind that. Laban, he represents no, in the good book we call it a workforce demon.
Okay.
Right? Laban will have you working hard and paying you little.
Yeah.
You work hard. So what happened? Jacob was making Laban rich.
Understood.
So he was getting becoming successful and great out of Jacob.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about. You work hard for other people, but not working for yourself.
Correct.
Okay. So if you're talking about, so think about it. Think about, for those of you who want to go on this journey of personal growth for your own self, but yet you're working 9 to 5, 8 to 4, whatever time you're working, and you're disciplined, but you're making somebody else's rich, and you're working hard for people, but now when it's time to work hard for yourself, you find it a problem. Oh, something wrong with that story.
And as a program as well. As a condition.
Yeah, condition. All right. So let me give you one more point before we go into the environmental law this morning. So we say it simply means that consistent. All right. The consistent person is the productive person. The consistent person is the productive person. All right. And I said before, being consistently productive does not mean grinding away at work. All right, working hard. It simply means that the consistent person is the productive person. Okay, just touch on that. Let me look at this here.
Consistent person is the productive person.
Consistent. All right, consistent in what area? In different areas of your life. All right. So what we want to touch on this morning. So, folks, again, these clips are on. It's on the for those of you on Facebook, Dr. Ian Cummings, or on the YouTube page, Minding My Business, and you could go up there and go over these points again. All right. So let's talk about the law of environment. All right. Now, the law of environment states growth thrives in conducive surroundings. Let's begin on that. Growth thrive in conducive surroundings. So if you're going to grow, okay, part of your growth journey is being in the right environment that is conducive for your growth. Think about that. Let's examine your environment. What environment that you are in. Okay, so the first thing we say now is that time for change. Okay, because after hearing these principles and you read in book, there comes a time where you have to make a decision, which means you got to change. All right, and change depends on your choices. Change depends on your choices, the choices you make. Okay, and sometimes you could get the right in information, in environment, but then the choice is up to you. And I think I mentioned, which I'm not going to get time to touch that. Anytime you're in a place to make decision, and you can learn this concept here. You have what you call available options. All right. So your mind is giving you options. All right. Which your mind is logic, and then your emotions is giving you options, and then the flesh is giving you options. This is internally. So you always go through the first stage. You also go through what we call the deliberation stage. Listen to this. The deliberation stage. So you're deliberating. Now this thing happens fast in your mind, right? And because you're already programmed to do things a certain way, it happens so fast that bam, you don't make you choose ready, bam, fast. So automatically it happens when you have to choose. But you always go through the deliberation stage. Your mind giving you options, your emotions giving you options, and the flesh is giving you options. Okay. All right. So if we have time, we'll go more into it at the end. Okay. So let's talk about the choices. You have anything to say on that?
I'm willing to learn and listen.
So let's talk about choice. When it comes to change, all right, choices change. Okay, when it comes to change, the choices you make. The choices are coming from also the things that you listen to, your thoughts, okay, the experiences, friends, different areas. This is going to come from when you have to make a decision, okay, when it comes to change. So just think about that a little bit, all right? Think about that a little bit.
Every highlight that was just highlighted there all boils down to everything that's coming into you. So that ultimately means every decision that's made is as a result of everything that entered you.
Yeah. It does. Because it's part. Why it is. Somebody asked, why is that Dr. Cummings? Why is what? Why is what? I want to respond to a question here from Candice as Nicola. Just come back with your question so I could respond to it. All right. Why is what? We now see the question. Probably you could give us back again so I want to answer your question. Change depends on your choices you make. Wonderful. All right. So let's go a little deeper into this. So change yourself and your environment. Okay, we talk about the law of environment. So you want to change yourself and change your environment. Okay. Now change yourself but not your environment. So let's look at this two things. So you could change yourself but not your environment. Growth will be slow and difficult. If you change yourself and you don't change your environment, growth is going to be slow and difficult. This is why, Keeshon, you find when individuals start the journey on personal development, sometimes they move from where they're living.
Yeah.
They move from the environment. They cut off certain individuals.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed that?
I noticed that in my own personal life.
You shall it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
When I started my journey, of course, I mean, looking at the first instance where you change yourself and you didn't change your environment, I mean, it was very difficult, and it's always going to be difficult when you are growing but your environment isn't changing, because you're gonna become inconsistent with where you are. And as you develop, you're going to be seeing things differently. And as you see things differently, as your perspective change and the environment isn't changing, it's going to be a battle, actually. And I went through and undergone that battle as well, because we're all humans.
Yeah.
And we will all have to go through that. And eventually, I got to a stage when I started changing my environment, right, where I was actually living. And I tell you, growth just kicked off.
Wow.
Like the Chinese bamboo tree.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I could testify with that, because you see, in the old environment that's not conducive for growth and change, you have so many obstacles there to battle.
Yeah, okay.
And you literally have to be battling every single minute of the day in an environment that is not conducive for growth.
Yeah.
From friends to family members, from the main neighborhood, from the conversations that's being held around you. Negative talk, negative relatives, negative things that's being done.
Yeah.
And they aren't even conscious about it.
Okay.
I mean, even certain conversations, let's say someone is on their way to really create financial success.
Yeah.
And you have people that's having conversation about poverty.
Right.
The good word say, let the poor say I am rich. And you have people around you that's doing the opposite of that.
The poor saying they're poor.
Correct.
Yeah.
So imagine you're taking a conscious, deliberate effort to pour certain words and certain thoughts into yourself.
Right.
And then in the environment, people are just, let's say, spraying poison, because I consider it to be poison.
It is.
Or spewing poison.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough battle uphill.
Oh.
So even if you're changing yourself right now, when you're not taking time to change your environment, as you rightfully say, it's going to be tough. It's going to be challenging.
All right. Folks, listen to me. Now, what we are saying, remember, we're dealing with the law of environment. Okay? And one of the things that we are saying, if you change yourself and not your environment, growth will be slow and difficult. It doesn't mean you're not going to have growth.
Yeah.
Because somebody may think that, so I know somebody may ask the question and say, what if I can't come out from an environment?
Yeah.
Will I? So I'm not. Am I not? Will I not going to grow something? You will grow. Okay, but it's going to take longer to grow in an environment that is not conducive to your change that you want to make.
Correct.
Because if you have like Keeshon mentioned, you have people around you. When you're listening to positive things, you hear negative things around you kind of consistent. So there's a battle internally and mentally. Okay. You're in an environment that is not conducive to your growth. you say people, you tell somebody, listen, I want to go back to school, I'm reading same. And a person in that environment might say, why you need to go back to school? And why you need to do that? So there will always be an opposition, a fight.
Of course.
So it doesn't mean that you're not going to grow, but it's going to take longer. Can this, you see the question? Okay. The next thing I want to add to that is change your environment, but not yourself. Right? Growth will be slow and less difficult. So you see where the growth is still going to be slow, but less difficult, because somebody come out from an environment, all right, that is conducive, that is not conducive for the change, for the growth. Okay, so the environment is good, but what is said here? But you're not you're not working on yourself. You're not growing in yourself. That's so you see where the whole opposite is. So what we are saying, get in an environment, as long as you're on this journey, if it's possible, come out of that environment for a season. All right, there are some friends, some folks you may have to lock off for a season.
Limited association.
Right? As you said, you're making moves, not noise, which means you're building in private, you're building in secret, you're doing stuff. The folks that we used to hang with, you're not seeing you, they want to know what's happening. You're reading books, you're going to seminars, you're taking classes and courses, and you're creating consistency in different areas of your life. All right? So next, in a year time when they see you, hey, your language changed, your appearance changed, you're dressing different, you have some swag, and your vocabulary different, everything. All right? And you might be driving different too. I just say, okay? All right. So change your environment and yourself. Growth will be faster and more successful. So you see 3 categories there. All right? So the first one is you change yourself, but not your environment. Growth will be slow and difficult. We said that you're going to grow, but it's going to be slow and difficult. Okay? Then if you change your environment, but not yourself, growth will be slow and less difficult. Okay? And then if you change your environment and you change yourself, growth will be faster and more successful. So you want to change your environment, you want to change yourself. Okay? And you're going to see growth is going to be faster or more successful. You're going to see more success in that kind, because you place yourself in an environment that is conducive for growth, and it's supporting and sustaining the discipline that you're now walking in now. That's what I'm saying. Okay? So you have the right friends around you, the right coaches and mentors, and the people. So what you're seeing success in front of you. You get up in the morning, you open the window, you're seeing success. You're walking down the street, you're seeing successful people. You're going in the sitting in the cafe, success. You're going to success. You just have to build this, because you surround yourself with success. Right? The law of attraction kicks into play. Okay? So think about that. All right. So what's that question they can answer?
Why do we not go hard on working for others?
Right.
And not working for ourselves? It's because we are conditioned that way.
Right. Wonderful. Okay. It's because we are conditioned that way.
Yeah.
And
how do we change that mindset?
All right. Okay. So no, we come back to the same paradigm, because the change that mindset, the restructuring of the paradigm is important. So when we do, we'll have a discussion on paradigms, okay? Because it's a whole series. And again, folks, as we say, these are courses we in terms of mentoring that folks come on board. So if you're interested in mentoring, if you're interested in taking some of these courses, let us know. We're going to be putting up some in a few soon. All right, to let you know what we have, what we offer also. But the whole paradigm concept, when I doing whole life coaching, I always take folks through that paradigm teaching first. All right, first I ask them, to do the concept in terms of where they are, and it's always why, because, and then I put them back at the end now to share with me their vision and their goals and things, and it's always different, because it changes how you look at things. Okay, let's go again. So we give you that change yourself, change your environment concept, all right? Then understand, most people are not interested in actually growing. Wow.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That is correct. Yeah.
Most people are not interested in actually growing, all right? Do you really want to grow? There are people who just want information.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's a good thing to be part of the guys, them who grow in, and part of the success, the $1 million club, the $1 billion club. There, it's good to hang. Some people like the journey, or they like the look of success.
They like, yeah, a lot of people love the look.
Yeah. But are you willing to make the sacrifice, and are you willing to put in the work for to become successful?
Yeah, are you willing to become it?
Yeah. That's a whole different ball game. So a lot of people are not interested in actually growing. And we're talking about growing here. Okay. As you consider let's look at the environment. Let's ask 3 questions as we consider environment. Let's look at 3 questions now. All right. Who nourishes you?
Mm-hmm. Big question.
Environment, growth. So we're still on environment. Who nourishes you?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What books are you reading? Who do you listen to? Who's your mentor? What courses are you taking? Who nourishes you? All right. Then what keeps you alive?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what sustains you? You want to take that in?
The question?
Yeah. Who nourishes you? This one. We just spoke on it.
Oh.
Yeah. Who nourishes you? All right.
You could tell. I always tell people. You could tell who someone listens to by what they do.
Yeah.
Like you could genuinely tell who someone listens to by what they do.
Yeah.
Because if you're really receiving advice or you're receiving information from somebody that you respect, somebody that you love, and someone's opinion that you cherish, you're going to see that information being applied in your activity. So you can look at what somebody is doing and you could tell who they're listening to.
Wow. Because eventually, it's going to rub off your vocabulary, your posture, everything will change.
Everything.
Yeah.
So sometimes I just look around the room and I could tell who people are listening to.
Yeah. Because if you are really connected to a mentor that you're following, you're gonna sound like them. It's not to say you want to just emulate them, right? But you're gonna sound like them.
Yeah, you're gonna have those quotes. Yeah, for sure.
You're gonna sound like them. All right. And I think that is key. That is really, really key. Okay. Because what you say, what you do, is going to just kick in there. Yeah. Because you're listening to this person. All right. You begin to emulate them.
Yeah.
All right. You do what they do because you have now a model of success in front of you.
Correct.
And
not just success, but failure as well.
Oh yeah.
Because I remember Miles saying, both success and failure is after following a principle or the breaking of one. Ooh. So if you follow people or listen to people who break principles, and that's their truth, which you allow to become yours, then automatically you're going to reproduce failure. So some people apply failure principles or the breaking of principles that produces failure.
Wow.
So when you look around the room, you could tell who persons are listening to. So the people who are producing success are listening to people who follow principle. The people who are producing failure are listening to people who break principle. Woo! So it's really easy. You can identify.
So either it's going to happen.
It's either you're following a principle or you're breaking a principle. Because principles are designed to both guarantee success and failure.
So you can follow break principles.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a lot of people who are following others who are breaking principles.
And they're adopting the same.
And they're adopting the same concepts, philosophies, ideologies. You could tell who you listen to by the things that you do.
Yeah. Association breeds transformation. and the thing is, and you know why this is so powerful? Like I tell folks, more is caught than taught.
Wow.
Listen,
that's a big one.
more is caught than taught.
Yeah.
Association.
I heard a mentor said, people don't do what you say, people do what you do.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, correct.
So you're catching more. So you're not in the class, but because of association, more is caught than taught.
Wow. That's really powerful though.
Right. I see Wendy's on. Hey, Prince, once welcome, man. All right. So we looking at this here. What are you looking at? We consider in same the environment. We asked the 2 questions. We said one is that who nourishes you, All right. What keeps you alive?
Keeps you alive.
What keeps you alive? And what sustains you? These things are important because sometimes in the journey, all right, ups and down, up and down. There may be valley heights, mountain, valley. And in that valley time, what it is that is keeping you alive. Okay?
Yeah.
It may be a recording that you run to.
Yeah.
It may be your mentor, the one-on-one with your mentor. Yeah. It may be a book, all right? It means just your faith, your relationship with God. What you have to know, what keeps you alive.
I mean, you're seeing that day, and I had a session 2 days prior to today with the CEO of the company I operate with.
Yeah.
And he was making mention to what he's expecting from true leadership. And he's saying that during the trial, during tribulations, what will keep you going consistently is the faith that transcends the company you work with. Ooh. It's the faith that transcends the people you associate with. It's the faith that transcends your network.
Wow.
He says, so great leadership is expected to be great because they have to have something, as you rightfully say, that keeps them going beyond what is seen.
Yeah.
It has to be beyond what is seen.
It's more than the cash. It's more than the flash. It's more than those things. It's more than those things. And rightfully, as he said, is your faith. Your faith has to be cement. Your faith has to be anchored.
Yeah.
And I think as we touch on faith, let me just plug this here. This is why in the growth process and the journey, there's so much trials.
Yes.
There's so much testing. Okay? Because one of the things that stabilizes you is your faith in.
Yeah,
your faith in the product, your faith in your whole process that the whole structure that you're using for personal development. Your faith in it, that this thing will work.
This thing, yes.
Okay, correct. So your faith got to be established. And one of the things I said again, back to the good book, your faith is tested in the waiting process, and your faith is rewarded in the receiving process. And this could be applied across the board, all right? Because when you're waiting for the thing that you believe in for to manifest, okay, you're on this journey. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. During that time period, your faith is going to be tested.
Yeah.
Okay, but when you receive it, your faith has just been rewarded. So you have tested faith and reward faith.
Wow.
So your faith in the product, your faith in what it is you're doing, your faith got to be anchored.
Yeah, correct.
Your faith got to be anchored, and that is critical. And I believe that goes across the board.
Of course.
Across the board.
Of course.
And the next one, what sustains you? What sustains you? Okay, what are the things that sustain you while you're on this journey? When you get weak.
Definitely. Again, and it's environment, and it's the people you associate with, it's the information you allow into yourself.
Wow.
And again, it's about, as you rightfully say, faith without works is dead.
Yeah.
So then to keep faith alive, you have to be doing something.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And let me plug this. One of the things, this is important, what sustains, sometimes what sustains people is the vision.
Yeah.
All right. That the belief in that it's going to happen.
Vision, mission. Correct.
You understand? That you have faith that this thing will work because you have seen it work in your mentor, you have seen it work in other people, and you believe that this is going to work. So you hold on to that. Some people may fall out. Some people say, no, this journey taking too long.
Yeah.
But you have faith in this thing. All right. And you're speaking life into it. So the next point I want to mention to you with this whole environment, growth, the law of environment, change the people you spend time with, change yourself in your new environment. Okay, change the people you spend time with.
Most important.
Listen, this thing. You see this? You see this here? All right. Most and important. This is difficult for a lot of people because some of you connect to people that is detrimental to your growth.
Yeah.
There's the poison in your whole environment. But because some of you are loyalists, and you could be a loyalist to something that is killing you.
Yeah. Wow. You could
be a loyalist to a person or to an environment that is killing you, but you want to be loyal to that environment, and it's killing your growth, it's killing your progress, and it's like toxic to everything you do.
Yes.
Change the people you spend time with. Okay, because that is important. Again, let's go back to the good book.
Yeah.
Anyone, take for instance, that God wanted to use, he always connected them with somebody. He changed their environment. Take, for instance, let's get a good book.
Yeah, we're going in a good book. There's
Let's
only
go in
going
the
to go
book.
anyway.
Right. There's a scenario with two individuals in the Bible, right?
Right.
Elisha and Elijah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Elijah was a major prophet. And there was a scenario that took place, and Elijah said, I want ask God to take his life. And God said, okay, since you want to take your life, because his assignment wasn't finished. Right? So God said, I'm going to take what's upon you, I'm going to put it on 2 kings and 1 prophet. Right? So one of the prophets that he had to take his place was Elisha. Right? He said, I want you to go and anoint Elisha. So his responsibility now was to find Elisha, anoint him, and begin to mentor him. Okay? And because I'm showing you how the connection with changing people. So, but when he met Elisha, Elisha was with his family. He was working in the field and he was plowing. And the Bible says he touched him with a mantle, and Elisha stopped what he was doing, right, and began to follow him. Yeah, it's in the Bible, right? And you got to follow it. Then he stopped and he said to Elijah, wait, okay, allow me to go and tell my mother and my father goodbye.
So he didn't even...
No, there's a touch. There's a touch. Now, there's more to that, but we're doing personal development, so we kind of curb it a little bit, right? But he went now and he said, he tell his mother and father goodbye, and he killed the oxen that was pulling, 12 acre oxen, and the wood, and make a fire, and he creates a sacrifice, and he went and followed, which means he cut ties.
Understand.
Now, the point I'm making is change people you spend time with. This environment. Why? So because of what happened now, Elisha had to disconnect from that environment.
Correct.
From the people.
Correct. And
connect to Elijah and started to follow him. And the Bible said he poured water, he started to serve.
Yeah.
It was a mentor-mentee relationship.
Yeah.
And that is a powerful, I want to say it for you. There's a powerful example of shifting environment, and in terms of changing people. That is critical. A lot of individuals, because of the connection to certain people, it's difficult for them to grow.
Yeah.
It's difficult for them to grow. And because folks want to be, and it's nothing wrong with being a loyal listener, but you got to be a loyal in an environment that is toxic and poisoning your success.
And I think one of the keys to highlight there is separation from family, because the relationship highlights how close they were. It's symbolic of people that you may have to separate from, that's very knitted and close to you.
Yeah.
And I could tell that from my experience as well, you have to separate yourself from people that you love in order to go where you need to go.
It's necessary. It's necessary.
Yeah.
No, we're not saying be a hater.
No.
But for a season. Hey, Marion, I see you all, man. Pastor Roger, wonderful. Okay, so you separate yourself for a season. You separate yourself. And again, we come back to you make moves and not noise. Build in secret. Build in silence.
Yeah.
All right. There's a time when you'll be introduced. Listen, this good talk this thing. Right? There's a time. Let's talk about this. Let's try and David. Everybody know King David in the good book.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
When he was anointed to be king, he was in the backside of the desert. You didn't hear about David for years. Next time you hear about David, he's taking lunch for his brothers. And Goliath, he had to fight Goliath. So there was a time when it wasn't hearing, because there's a time where you have to grow. God hide him away. But when he's when you're hidden, he's doing something with you. The Bible says he's fighting bears and lions, which means your hidden time is a time of preparation. Yeah. That there's a time now come. You're going to be introduced. The public will see you. The people will see you, because what you're being developed for is not just for yourself.
Okay.
All right. So change the people you spend time with in this whole environment concept, and then change yourself in your new environment. Notice, change yourself in your new environment, because you could be in a new environment and not change yourself.
Yeah.
And your growth will take long if you operate like that. Change yourself in your new environment. So you're not just because some people, why this is important, because some people think that because now I'm in the right environment,
it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. No. Intentionality.
I fell prey to that as well. I mean, it's the
Wow.
journey of life. Yeah.
So you're getting folks. Let's say what some of the folks are saying. Janice powerful. Mala, that's so true. Ralila, that's true. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, folks, just share the live. We're here for a few minutes again. All right, so change yourself, change your environment. Make your goal public.
Yeah.
Set deadlines to your goals. When we're doing goals, we're going to go into all of that. But make your goals public. Set your deadlines. All right. When learning from others, such as a mentor, explore these certain things that you could explore. What are your strengths? We talk about that. What are your weaknesses and all that stuff. All right. You want to say anything on this? Okay.
Make your goals public.
Mm-hmm.
I remember learning that from Napoleon Hill, making your goals public. And the first time I heard it, I went into deep thought. And the reason I went into deep thought is because growing up again, being around unsuccessful people, I remember hearing when you set a goal, keep it private because you don't know who went to, as they say, steal your goal.
Goal stealers?
Yeah. You know? So that really stood out to me the first time I was ever introduced to the concept of making your goal public, and I couldn't understand it. And it allowed me to really dive into it to get an understanding of why Napoleon Hill was saying, make your goals public.
Yeah.
And in studying it, I realized, what it does, it anchors you to the point where you have to get it done.
Right.
So you allow people to be aware that I am going to do this. And because you have now said it, you have spoke it, and people are aware, you now almost lock yourself in a position where it has to be done.
Yeah. So you have a kind of public accountability in a sense.
Yes, public accountability.
Public accountability.
Correct.
Right, folks. So you're not keeping it secret. You know, there was something I was doing. I was using that same concept. All right. In this term, in the mentoring, right, that when you're doing those things, especially in one of the laws, I think was the mirror law. Part of it was talking about in the process of the growth, that when you make a plan, tell somebody.
Yes.
Right. And make it public. So you have to make it public. Make it public. Okay. Make it public. So folks, these are just some of the principles we want to share with you on this whole law of environment. There are more we could share. All right. But I just want to pull in. I just want to share something on changes and choices. And I want to help somebody here. All right. Because I've seen folks who sit in environment, and it's difficult when it comes for change and choices, making and the choices that you make. Why? Because you go through certain things. And I just want to share. We're going to share about 4 principles, 4 points, basically, a little bit on doing that. Okay. And remember, I mentioned earlier on about deliberation, right? And the thing about deliberation, every one of us go through that. Yeah. Okay. Every one of us go through a deliberation stage. Okay. So before you choose, there are options before you to choose in the here. Okay. Should I take the course? Should I do mentoring? Should I get a coach? I mean, choices. And some people stay in that place for years. Yeah, some people stay in that place for years, putting it off for different reasons. Okay, so you go through a deliberation. And I said to you before, your mind, which is logic, is giving you options. So based on how your mind is structured, you're going to get options from your mind. Yeah. Okay. Your emotions is giving you options. Okay. Yeah. And sometimes you can't make decisions from your emotion because your emotion not stable. Yeah. And then your flesh also, you can't take it from your flesh. All right. So the deliberation, what is deliberation? Deliberation is an act of careful consideration of your available options. Now, I'm just giving you some definitions here, folks. I want you to catch this, right? Because we just touching this point and we're going to bring it in. The first stage you go through is deliberation. There's 4 points I'm going to share with you. Deliberation, decision, determination, and discipline. Okay. Those are 4 critical areas in your personal growth going forward. And this is why you will understand that even you listen to the information, you go back and you listen it, probably you share with your friends. Some people just stay in the deliberation mood. Okay? Some people stay in the deliberation mood until they get the next information. So they never go forward. And I said to you, deliberation is an act of what? Careful consideration of your available options. All right? All right. So what you have to do now, you have to move past your mind, you have to move past your emotion, you have to move past your flesh. All right, because those things could be a block. Then the next thing now for deliberation is decision. So you're already deliberate. Now you have to make a decision. Okay? And a decision is the conclusive choice of direction that I have established by my will to follow. Folks, we're going to go deeper into this some other time. I just wanted to throw this out here for you.
Yeah.
Decision, I'm going to say it again. Decision is the conclusive choice of direction that I have established by my will to follow. Because when you have to make a decision, your will or the decision is being formed from your will.
Yes.
Because how your will is disciplined, you will choose from there.
Okay.
And some people, if your will, like for instance, if you grew up in that environment where there's poverty and restricted, your will is already disciplined to make decisions a certain way. So this is why automatically you choose in a particular direction because your will has already been disciplined. Folks, you hear what we're saying here? All right? I know you think, and because this is why, again, 95, 5%, 99, 1%. Okay? Because it takes time. It takes time. All right? So deliberation now coupled with decision brings change to my situation. Deliberation coupled with decision bring change to my situation. Okay? All right? Then the fourth one is determination. Determination is me acting on what I have been taught. Determination is me acting on what I have been taught. So your determination sends a message that you are committed. When somebody is determined, it sends message to your peers, it sends message to people. We're going to talk about that some other time. Because your determination is sending a message that you won't give up.
Correct.
Your determination sending a message to your haters. Your determination sending a message to people who say you will stop just now and this thing will work. I'm determined. Why? Because I'm determined to see it through.
Correct. Stop nothing.
I'm determined to be successful. I'm determined. Listen to me, it's going to work. So your determination is sending a message.
Yeah.
Okay? So if we back that thing up, your determination sends a message. Deliberation coupled with decision brings change to your situation. And then the last one, let me touch with you, is discipline. All right? What is discipline? I have enforced obedience to hold my established course. I know some of you hear this for the first time. All right? Discipline, which means I have enforced obedience to hold my established course.
First time I heard the definition.
Yeah. enforce obedience.
Yeah.
Because I'm disciplined now to do this a certain way. And I'm going to obey no matter what happens. It's enforced obedience. So sometimes I don't feel like doing it. All right? And it's not structured for me to do it, but I'm going to obey. In other words, I'm going to push myself to do it because it's called enforced obedience. Yeah. All right? To hold my established course. So, folks, this is what we want to share to you today.
Really powerful
stuff. So you could listen to me. You could just share this live. Let's see what some of the folks are saying. All right, see if you have any folks on it.
Yeah, a couple people on my phone.
Right. Okay.
See.
Yes. Wood. Good morning.
So a couple of them.
Mind, emotions.
Passy was there.
Wonderful.
Then we had Awesome, Tassel.
Yeah.
I saw Crystal. We had a couple of people.
Right, wonderful. Folks, listen to me. All right, we thank again for your support. Share the live. Remember, I said this is just the platform that we have set for a lot of things that we have coming, a lot of training, probably seminars that we want to do in Trinidad. All right, and that's going to help build. Okay, and a lot of courses. Remember, we have the book also going to be coming out very soon. Look forward to that. And again, send your questions, send topics that you probably think that any particular area that you probably want us to go deeper in, share. Because as I said before, it's just an hour and we just sharing snippets in certain areas. All right, so stay blessed. Any last word there?
Blessings. Bring the terror back.
The terror back. What's the takeaway? Listen, what's the takeaway, Mala? All right. Just text your takeaway before you come off. Just text your takeaway.
Yeah, bring the terror.
Right. Just text your takeaway. All right. Those of you on, just text. What is your takeaway? What is your takeaway for today, this morning session? Just text it there. Just text it there. All right. I think that terabyte is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's terrible. I think when we do paradigm, you see two major areas we're gonna touch that's gonna be mind blowing. You see paradigm and finance.
Yeah.
All right. All right. It's gonna be crazy. All right. So again, also go on the YouTube page, subscribe, follow Keeshon, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. All right. Follow us. All right, and just spread the news, because I believe that we want to something good.
For sure.
Yeah. We want to something good. All right. So stay blessed, folks. Love you all. Have a blessed weekend. Have a blessed weekend, and see you back on Monday. All right. Share the live. Money Monday, boy. All right. Wonderful.